to Pacific Grove. I was getting tired of just hanging out in San Luis Obispo. I feel like maybe I've overdone it. And so I've decided to come up north a little bit, check it out, see how the Uber scene is up here, do some exploring. I feel that after yesterday's crash out, maybe some new scenery would be in order. And it seems like there's a lot of people out there struggling as well. Perhaps that's what you need. I've always found that healing takes place the most when I find a new place to go. The water here really is incredible. Get my balance. You see, it's just like really clear and blue. I've never really seen the coastline in California with the ocean being so clear. It's incredible. Anything really about the ocean is very healing, I think, for the mind and the body. If you can, lower all your expenses. Be completely mobile and all of your things in one location that you need to survive. In my roof box, I really have more than enough space, and I have more gear than I really need. Just maybe have a sleeping pad and a sleeping bag, and just, if you have time, get out on the road, visit some places that seem to interest you, and just go explore. I know not everyone has that ability, but you could be like me, sign up for Uber, just travel, do some Uber Eats, Instacart, and see how it is. If you're unhappy with where you are, what do you have to lose? It's your life to live, it's my life to live, and we have to live and experience life the way we want. Well, after getting out here, slipping on the rock, risking life and limb for the epic shots, that's what we come here for. Earlier, the waves just hit this rock and then just almost completely got me, like this. I probably got blood on my shirt somewhere. I was out on the rocks right back there. There was a guy and he was like, hey, can you take a video of me with like my gimbal and my cell phone? And so I'm walking like this, trying to get a level shot. One step and I just slipped out completely, just right onto my shins. Look at this. No fun. You know, even if I only get a short amount of time every day to be out here filming, making a video, and then getting back to the grind of Uber, it just makes it all so worth it for these few moments every day that I get just to explore, see new areas. It is a bit of a drive time, but in the whole spectrum of things, this is kind of like a little mini adventure life every day, just going place to place. If it looks interesting on the map or sounds cool, like really, I just thought that Pacific Grove sounded like a cool area to come. At times like this, I wish that you guys were right here with me, scrambling across rocks, just getting out deeper into the ocean a little bit, listening to the waves crash, the seagulls Just like, look at the power of these waves coming in. I mean, you can just see, look at this, just, and it's so blue and just like clean looking that I would almost think that these were waves in like Tahoe, like a lagoon, but just all the foam, the salt getting mixed up. And it's nice with having some overcast. It makes it a little bit more of a pretty scene, I think. I mean, I'm kind of soaked from being like totally smashed by a wave over there on the rocks. So that's not as much fun, and it is kind of cold, but you know, explorers, we gotta take the good with the bad. I guess as a child, I always loved just to explore. And so this is kind of me in my happy place, always finding a new area to go and see, explore, climb out into the danger zones a little bit, just get closer to nature, as close as I always could. Even when I worked at a school, a lot of the young kids, they'd always kind of be afraid to venture off the beaten path. But for me, I always looked. I'd look from the road, but then I always think, how close can I get? How far off the beaten path is feasible without, you know, too much danger or bodily harm, you know, that can come. I'm sure it's not really for everyone, but just traveling in the car, looking for new places to go. You know, granted, I gotta stay at certain areas a lot just to keep making money on Uber. But for right now, it seems like a decent trade-off. There's been a lot of my life where I just spent so much time at a desk that 9 to 5, which is really with commuting more like 7 a.m. to like 6:30 p.m. So just having this ability to look at different areas, even if it's just in California, exploring different beaches, scrambling around rocks. It's just been incredible. Going from a point in life where I thought there's no more reason to be here, to then there's reason enough just to be exploring just places right near me, a couple hours drive, and then being able just to work and camp wherever I feel like it's safe and feasible. It's really something to behold, like how just a quarter of a mile here has so much beauty to it. A little bit of these sandy beaches, a bunch of rocks to scramble around, fall onto. But you know what? If you're not bleeding every once in a while, then you ain't really living life. Just the fact that you can go through Big Sur in probably like an hour and a half and then drive 30 minutes to here and be on the beach, on the water, where you can actually just touch it. Experience the ocean, like from a majestic cliffside of Big Sur to then coming to the beach and just hanging out on the waterfront. And under an hour is really incredible. I don't know how it is for you guys out there. I know there's a lot of people who are hurting, thinking that the world is just a giant shithole. which it definitely can be. And I was there. And there's moments, I'm definitely still there. And I've lived for so many years of just this paycheck to paycheck. Just broke, and you have, $10 in your bank account and it's got to last a certain amount of time. And you're transferring money from one bank account to another, and then hoping that you can make some money to then put money into one account. That way it doesn't get overdrafted. And I think I've just been there for so long that now it doesn't even matter living on the road, because I could be moderately well off traveling around, doing Uber, seeing new areas and exploring, making videos to share with everyone out there on the internet. Or I could be stressed out paying a rent and just being totally broke every day, just not being able to do much of anything but go to work, come back, watch TV or Netflix, whatever it is, not being able to even go out to eat, just making food at home, and everything being so tight. And it's not that it's so much better now, but the fact that I can kind of live life on my terms more. I'm not strapped down to a house, an apartment to rent. I'm not strapped down to that payment. It's very freeing, at least, not having those things. And if you have a family, of course it's going to be more challenging, but I know a lot of families on the road, they have an RV and they're dual incoming it and making it work. So, there's plenty of excuses and not as much action. And perhaps we should change that algorithm a little bit to where we're having more action and less excuses. And I'm definitely a prime candidate of having so many excuses in the world to not do anything and just stay stagnant in my comfortable little box of a home in Tahoe, working a bartending, a restaurant, property management type of job, barely squeezing things by. Or on the road here, in nature, at least a little bit, being on the ocean, being in the mountains, at least living some kind of a life on my terms and not someone else's and someone else's schedule. And I'm really having a tough time even thinking about going back into that world of control, asking, can I have this day off? Can I have this vacation time? Whereas right now, granted, I don't have enough money to do elaborate trips or anything, and I still have to do some work every day, but it's on my terms. And I think that so many people have so much pain and angst just built up in their jobs and their current living conditions, and they don't see a way out. And if you ever thought about any kind of self-deletion because of it, I can totally understand. But you have to at least contemplate doing something to get out of that rut. Break free from whatever it is holding you back. You can totally do it. If I can, you can. It's still scary. I am not an adventurous, go out on a whim and have everything in the car and sleep in different places every night. But it's so much better than the alternatives and the way that I've had to spend my life the last 10 years, even if it was in one of the most beautiful places in the world of Lake Tahoe. There's so much more to see and explore and experience. And don't check out before you at least give other parts of the world and lifestyles a chance. So many videos that I watch are of people who wish that they would have done something different much sooner, gone out and explored more. And they always said, just when I make a little bit more money, right after I buy this type of car or get this house. But the goalpost keeps moving again and again, and they end up never doing it. And it's cliche as it is, the only time is now to make a difference, to make a change. And so I implore you, if you can, in any type of regard, make that change. Be the difference. And you know what? You might get a couple cuts and bruises along the way, but that's all just part of it. That's actually why I'm standing here in the water. Because Siri told me that salt water heals cuts and wounds and promotes healing. And so, that's what I'm doing. Healing this up. So I got my cuts and bruises, physically, mentally, spiritually. But you know what? We can all recover. Bounce back. That's just how life is. Sometimes you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes it's 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. But as long as you're still stepping, that's what matters.